Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Political Vigilante YouTube and podcast. If you're watching this on the YouTube, I also release this as a podcast into iTunes. You get early access to it if you're a Patreon supporter, and it's just another way to consume this information. What I do is I just take all the videos and put them together after about a week or so and release a podcast of it. And the podcast is usually about an hour or so. This story that I want to cover today first saw it in Disobedient Media. The Intercept has talked about this. The CIA undermines North Korea summit by leaking report to media asset. And they're talking about Ken Dilanian, who is this NBC News intelligence and national security reporter who used to be a reporter with the LA Times, and he is basically a mouthpiece for the CIA. And hats off to Disobedient Media. They do fantastic work. If you're not familiar with it, check them out. The link to this article is in the show notes. I've interviewed Elizabeth Vos several times on this show, and it's a good independent news source and they do very thorough investigations that I can see. I mean, it's very thorough. It's this weird thing called actual investigative journalism. I know those are crazy terms to hear put together. Like, what? Journalists finding the truth? It's weird. It's weird. It's kind of off-putting. Like, whoa, you're not bought and paid for by the deep state? Ew, weird. What a bunch of gross hippies. But this article is by Kenneth Whittle, and what it goes into is showing what's happening. So there's actually talking about peace happening in the North Korean Peninsula. And Trump has even gone to like, hey, maybe this is a good thing. And then who criticizes him? Ranking members of the Republican and Democratic Party. And then this CIA guy, Ken Dilanian, says some pretty bizarre things. I mean, on his Twitter post, he goes, perspective, I was in the CIA. We wouldn't trust a country whose leader did what Trump did. And that was in the Washington Post. So, obviously, I'm no fan of Donald Trump at all. But peace between North and South Korea, that's a good thing. It's obviously good for both of those countries. It's good for the countries in that region, namely some of them are strong allies like Japan. It's better for the world. But brokering peace is a bad thing, and it just shows you that the war machine and what the CIA does. I did a story. The CIA, ex-CIA operatives are running as Democrats in the primaries. And they're like, we got to resist Trump. And it shows you what their long-term goal is. I was on an episode of Tinfoil Hat with Sam Tripoli. Ron Placone was on the episode as well. And we talked about this. One of the things Sam brings up, he's like, anything they do is trying to keep us divided. You know? And here's Trump actually letting the Korean Peninsula, try to find peace. And you're seeing a lot of countries are banding together away from the United States. We used to be involved, but we can't sit there and say, oh, we're for democracy and freedom of speech and all this bullshit when we scuttle that at every turn. We crush freedom of speech. We jail people. Julian Assange, Edward Snowden. I mean, you threaten the power structure in this country. You do not have freedom of speech. It's that simple. And it also shows so the CIA is trying to keep us all divided and fighting. I mean, this is the same CIA that, they were basically funneling crack cocaine into black neighborhoods in the 80s. I mean, this is the same CIA that JFK said, I want to break into 1,000 pieces. And then, oh, weird, some guy with a single-shot rifle hit a moving target from 300 yards away with a bullet that did mysterious things like that. And then a nightclub owner was so mad that the president was killed that it all makes sense. Sure, there's no CIA involvement there at all. And WikiLeaks has also pointed out Dilanian's agency connection and his pushing of the Trump-Russia collusion narrative, tweeting, CIA's mop-up man, Ken Dilanian, is the NBC reporter used to channel claims about President Putin in the U.S. election. Does it make sense now, the whole Russian collusion thing? What? Why are they pushing this so hard? It's the CIA is pushing this. The CIA is pushing this. Because we need enemies. We need, we spend over $700 billion a year on the war machine. Russia spends about $70 billion. And again, I'm not saying Putin hasn't done some dangerous, scary things, but we outspend them 10 times. And we really need to ramp up more military? I mean, it's just ridiculous. It's ridiculous. This is the thing I remember when Reagan ran against Jimmy Carter in 1980. Oh, the big Soviet, there's these ads, we got to be careful of the bear. This big Soviet bear, we got to watch out. The Soviet Union, and under the Democrats, we had a crumbling, rusted out military, and we got to pump up the military and pump it. That was Reagan did all that crap. And here we are again. Only now it's being pushed by the right and the left. So this is what Trump tweeted on May 29th. Trump, who has tweeted so many jackass things, so many racist, sexist, stupid things, tweets this. We have put a great team together for our talks with North Korea. Meetings are currently taking place concerning summit and more. Kim Young Choi, the vice chairman of North Korea, heading now to New York. Solid response to my letter. Thank you. What? Trump's being diplomatic and trying to broker peace? Wait, what? In the aftermath of recent revelations concerning the CIA's collaboration with foreign intelligence agencies to spy on Donald Trump's campaign during the 2016 presidential election, the fresh leaks continue to show a pattern of rebellion that has long run rampant in the United States intelligence community. While the CIA's apparent violations of ethical considerations concerning surveillance of candidates running for public office was serious enough, their interference drags the reputation of the agency to a new, and in the case of Korean peace negotiations, more dangerous low amid their conflict with the sitting president of the United States. However, despite these attacks, preparations between the two countries have continued for the upcoming June 12th summit. President Trump announced later today via Twitter that he's put a great team together and all this. And now, if I say this at all, suddenly now I'm a Trump sympathizer and I must be a white nationalist. Don't like Trump, don't like his policies. He's a scary, dangerous president, but in this instance, he's trying to broker peace. And wouldn't everyone want to support that? Because just months ago, it was like, we got to go to war with North Korea. War with North Korea. They were saying it. There was military experts on CNN go, well, this is probably how a ground battle would. They were just already discussing what the only thing that was under debate was the strategies with the war in North Korea was going to be. There was no even like, hey, wait a minute, why are we going to war? South Korean Prime Minister or President, I can't remember if it's a Prime Minister or President, but their leader said, hey, their leader reached out to Kim Jong Un, who doesn't seem to be the stablest of dudes, but still, he's probably realizing we'll get wiped off the earth, and I don't want that. And now, whenever the CIA is involved, just don't trust it. Don't trust it. Don't trust it. Don't trust it. And they need us divided, because if we all get together and see that we're all victims of the one percenters' cooperation, their collusion, the surveillance state that we're in, that's the CIA, that's the military-industrial complex, that's what they're doing, that's what they're pushing. So I applaud Disobedient Media for doing this article and showing this, because this is what real journalism is. You show what's happening no matter what. Whether you like the president or don't like the president, you show what's happening. So, and really how these, and this is on MSNBC, big hippie liberal media MSNBC, has a CIA operative basically, you know, pushing for war. And so we're going to see more of this crazy shit leading up to the June 12th summit. Just watch. Just watch. More crazy shit's going to happen leading up to this summit. And if real peace is achieved, there's going to be some crazy shit. Watch out for a false flag. Watch out for a North Korean attack. And they're going to go, whoa, 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 we just signed a peace agreement. Oh, North Koreans attacked us. Watch out for that shit. Because that's how the CIA operates. Support things like Disobedient Media. Support this channel. Come July, new studio. Boom, 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 boom. And also the Progressive Comedy Tour, June 20th through the 24th with Ron Placone, Nashville, Huntsville, Asheville, Louisville, Hotlanta. Go to GrahamElwood.com for tickets. Don't get left out in the cold if the show sold out. That's going to be pretty hot there. You won't be cold. It's going to be like a lot of heat in the South. But you know what I mean. It's a figure of speech. Don't be a dick.